Hey professionals, Sophia Sarah Joseph here, author of Choreography of Awakening, international speaker, former Olympic figure skating coach, and founder and creator of imagintlife, a revolutionary path to mastery of self that leads towards creation of your masterpiece, the life you were born to live according to your life's blueprint. Welcome to Professionals on Air podcast, a podcast where we discuss how to walk, talk, live and grow authentically as a professional in the 21st century. It is my intention to bring you diverse and exciting speakers and prove that no matter where we come from and what we do, there are clear laws that work through us all that we can tap into to create what we desire. And today, I have the pleasure and honor to introduce you to my amazing guest, Jordan True founder of Health Recondition, and she is an online health coach focused on utilizing holistic health and functional medicine. Jordan is a licensed occupational therapist, professional dancer, and bikini competitor who, through her own struggles and professional experience, knows a thing or two about treating chronic illnesses. Jordan is passionate about nurturing people back to vitality and health and eliminating the root cause that plagues them. Welcome, Jordan. Thank you so much for your generosity and gift of time and wisdom to share with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and how did you get started?
Sure. Like you said, I'm a licensed occupational therapist and I've worked in hospitals and rehabs. I think after COVID, we can all agree that we need to prioritize our health. And after seeing patients come into the hospital and being readmitted, I'm noticing that really there's a lot of disconnect between when patients come and they get diagnosed with, a disease or an illness, and then they go home and no one is really there to help or show them how to stay healthy or reverse their symptoms. So, everything now is telehealth. It's all online. So I decided to work online helping people all over the world to focus on holistic functional medicine, which really is different from conventional medicine, which gets to the root cause of your symptoms. So, really, one of my main like sayings that I preach is, you know, I don't want to treat your symptoms. I want to find out why you're having symptoms in the first place.
But there is always a reason for everything, isn't there?
That's right.
For sure. I know today's medicine is like really focused on the symptom, and you get rid of one symptom, and then the next thing you know, something else happens, and it's just a move, right? How one thing moves to another. It's not actually going away unless you address that root cause. So I really hear you. What what does professionalism mean to you?
I was waiting for this question. I know this is the one that you ask everyone. I even tried to Google some things to try and come up with something really great. But to me, professionalism means that it's your identity. Like when you say that you're a
Hmm.
professional dancer, a professional figure skater, like that's your role, that's your identity, that's who you are and who you identify with. So to me, being a professional, you can be a professional anything as long as you fully believe that that is who you are to the core of your being.
This who you are thing is like my personal business, Imagined Life, is completely about this who you are. And I'm creating a program right now, and it's really like the whole thing that I'm writing the script right now is about who you are, what does that mean, and how everything is based on that identity. So I really truly truly appreciate you saying that. What would you say separates great professionals from run of the mill ones?
I would say, I think we can look and see people um, being professionals in the corporate America, or just be like fulfilling their role. But I think there's a difference between just having a title, right? Like I work in the medical field, so you can be a doctor or a nurse or a therapist or a lawyer. But I think also going back to like actually fulfilling your purpose and your duty. So I think the difference between some people is like they just call themselves something, but maybe they don't really feel that they're passionate about it. So I think other people, maybe they don't have that title, but they truly believe in something that they're doing, or they kind of show up as that person all the time.
I love that. And the part that you brought in purpose in there, that's like truly, truly, I'm so on board with you with that separation of just doing something for money. That's because it's your profession, and doing something because it's your purpose, and there's nothing else you can be doing with your life except for that one time.
Absolutely.
What what would you say is your biggest strength as a professional?
I would say for me, well, personally and professionally, because it comes out in the work that I do, is I'm very blunt. I like to tell it like it is. I think some people like to put on their professional hat when they enter work and they leave, and then they put on their personal hat, right? Like they're two different people. I'm never a different person. I'm always the same person regardless of the situation I'm in. I mean, yes, there are times where you probably need to, you know, position yourself as someone with authority, or that you have more knowledge or education. But for the most part, for me, I'm always me as a person. Like there's little filter. And I think it's kind of a take it or leave it. You can appreciate it, because sometimes you need people to not sugarcoat things. And I think if you feel that you're a professional, then you hold yourself to a higher standard, and maybe you won't say or do the things that you would normally do behind closed doors. But I mean, the truth is we're all humans, and I think when you relate to someone on a different level, they appreciate you more, because you're being vulnerable with them, and you're not pretending to be this other person.
Well, I really hear that, coming from that professional dance experience, there is a big difference between a professional dancer and an amateur dancer. That's like world apart, right? So I can hear how you probably marrying the two, how that world is coming in into what you're doing now to come and bridge that together. Is that accurate?
Yes, I mean, I was always a dancer for most of my life, and then in college, I decided to audition for like the professional sports teams. And for me, being a professional dancer just meant that I got a paycheck. But it was also very exciting because I'm naturally a performer. I love to be in front of an audience. Dancing is, my outlet. So yes, I think when you do things to put yourself at a different level, then you kind of step into that role.
Well, I know that to become a professional dancer is not like one day you wake up and you say, I can make money dancing. You had to put years and years and years and hours and hours and hours of practice before that moment came. Truly.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, I think professional dancers, or even, for you, the figure skating, I think our bodies as our careers, we kind of always have a little plan B in the back of our head, because you never know, right? Like there's injury, there's accidents. So I think yes, it's amazing and great to strive for, but that wasn't like my sole purpose. That's my passion, and I love to do that. But I think also, for me, it was at the time, and now I'm focused on something different. But once a dancer, always a dancer.
But it's still your personality, who you are, is still coming through regardless of the thing that you're doing. And I can totally see that. What would you say is your biggest weakness as a professional, and how do you deal with that?
Um, I hate to use my strength as my weakness, but I I think it is also a weakness, you know, like I joke, I've gotten called into the principal's office many a times uh, for being an advocate for patients. And now that I'm doing online and virtual, I can kind of run the show and be my own boss. But, you know, having worked in hospitals and rehabs, I had to answer to the directors and people above me. So I'd say my weakness is also my strength, in the sense that I feel so strongly about certain things that I advocate for it and I push it so much that maybe the boundaries get crossed, right? Like maybe some of the rules aren't followed. But it's because I want to help people.
You know, before you even answered that question, somehow I knew you were going to say exactly. Not exactly that, but I knew you were going to say, my biggest weakness is my biggest strength.
Yeah.
It was totally, I don't know, like intuitive, I could feel that. What, in
Sometimes it
your
is.
opinion, is most important thing to keep in mind when facing a professional challenge?
Um, oh, that's a good question.
Hmm.
Um, so I like to take any difficult situation and put myself in the other person's shoes. So I
Hmm.
obviously am in a helping profession, so I work a lot with clients and patients, and you know they're having their health issues, which are very could be, you know, vulnerable and embarrassing. But I think for me, when I'm handling or trying to deal with a struggle or a situation, I always try to put myself in the other seat, right? Like in the other person's position. So, you know, it's always difficult to kind of feel or think what others are thinking or saying, but I think that helps you make a decision going forward to understand like you're on this side and they're on this side, right? Like hearing both sides of the story. So, I would say trying to get in the other person's shoes and really feel how they're feeling, think what they're thinking. So you don't make a decision based on, you know, it shouldn't be subjective. That's like more objectively that you're looking at everything.
I can imagine how much your clients appreciate this quality in you, that you come from that place of understanding them.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I can really relate to that big time. What would you say has contributed to your success the most? Luck, timing, a mentor, what you offer, the way you do business, or something else?
I guess I would say, you know, number one, everyone has their own story or everyone has their own why, right? Like why do people get into the things that they do? And without going through my whole health history, I had my own health issues, as most of us do living in this world. And so, you know, and also being on both sides, so being like the patient and also being the health professional.
Hmm.
um for me, that's kind of inspired why I do what I do. And that's what's really led me to being my success, because number one, there's the mindset, which I'm learning is so important for anything that you do, because you know what's the difference between the person that's achieving something and the person who's not achieving something? It's the fact that they believe they can and that they are doing it, or they even asked. You know, like you just have to ask if you're able to do this, and pretty much you can do whatever you want. So um for me, it was really getting into my story and then being able to believe that I can help other people as well. And so yeah, and yes, you know, being part of professional groups, Facebook groups, looking at mentors, listening to podcasts, reading books, just getting into the whole world, because the life coaching um, universe was unknown to me a few years ago.
You know, when you're speaking, that's like your whole lighting up as you say that.
Thank you.
And that's you mentioned that that difference between what is the difference between that person that makes it and that person that doesn't make it was truly the driving force for me, like doing what I was doing. Like, why? What is the difference between one person standing on that podium and another person being in second place when they have similar skills? And they both could have been there. Why aren't they? What's the difference between the champion and the one who didn't make it? That is such a huge question to like dive in and find your sweet spot.
Of course, of course.
Ideally, tell me the secret. What does your first 60 minutes of your day look like?
Oh, I wish I could say it was so in an ideal world. I'm gonna say in an ideal world because for right now, I probably sleep in too much because I'm constantly doing stuff during the day. But in an ideal world, I would wake up and probably work out in the morning. Um, and kind of write my agenda for the day. I'm big on to-do lists because if it doesn't go down on paper, then it doesn't happen because there's so much going on in my brain that it needs to be written down. Um, I would say, you know, also in an ideal world, I would love to do a little bit more gratitude and meditation. I don't always do that, but also I think, being in the position that I am to hold myself accountable, to practice what I preach, and, just to always be striving. So even if today didn't go exactly how I wanted my routine to be, the next day we're going to kind of habit stack. So if you're brushing your teeth, you're also, reading your daily affirmations.
I hear you. So what now? I know you work with a lot. You work with people that have a lot of different health issues and chronic conditions and stuff. And I mean, we all know how these issues can hold us back from doing our best and creating the life that we want and making the difference in the world as well. So, what advice would you give to professionals struggling with fatigue, for example? I think you're frozen.
Oh,
Oops,
wait, my
I lost you for a second.
did you lose?
Can you hear me?
Okay, wait.
Okay,
Can
you're
you hear me
back.
now?
Yeah.
I
Did
had
you
to
did you hear
adjust.
did you hear my question or should I
Let me
repeat
see.
it? Okay, having a little bit of a connection.
Okay, can you hear
Okay,
me now?
I hear you now. Yes. Did you hear my question or should I repeat it?
You might have to repeat it.
Okay. So I said that the professionals, in order to perform at their best, at their highest level, and be able to create what they're looking to create, they need to be in their best health. And a lot of people may be struggling with fatigue. And so, my question was, what advice would you give to professionals, your professional advice to professionals that are struggling with fatigue?
Um, yeah, so this is definitely a big question. I think a lot of us wish that we had more energy. I think the quality of sleep is always something to look at. So just your general sleep schedule, what kind of situation you're getting, because that's the number one thing to look at is if you're tired all the time, how is your sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? And then also, I think it's important to not try to overwhelm yourself with following all of the latest diets or exercise routines. It's really like doing the simple little things that make a big difference. So like that habit stacking. So like picking one thing that you want to improve on and just tie it to something that you already do throughout the day.
Is there any like symptom? Everyone gets tired. That's a normal part of life. But when is this becoming like a trigger to pay attention to? This isn't normal tired. Like this may be a cause for something else, and you need to go like check this out.
I would say definitely if you are falling asleep while doing something. So if you're not able to keep your eyes open, if you're not able to sustain like some kind of attention or energy for even just short periods of time, if you notice that your sleep schedule is changing, if you feel your body having more pain or swelling, like inflammation, and um, if you're just sleeping like more hours than you're awake.
Okay, and they can also reach out to you, right? If they have questions about that, something like that. The timing, I think we're having like a problem a little bit with connection. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. I work with patients, like I said, all over the world. We do online coaching. So really,
So I
okay.
have my one last
Yes.
question to yeah.
I
Can you
think we're
hear
good
me?
for
It's a little frozen. We're still having a little bit of a problem with connection. It's a little bit
oh,
frozen.
we were doing
So
we were doing
I
so good
have my
before.
I have my signature question to you. So imagine, Jordan, that your name changed today, and you are no longer called Jordan, and you have to choose a new name out of the four that I'm gonna give you: success,
Okay.
trust, courage, or passion. Which of these names
Oh,
would you choose, and what would change
passion.
in your life as a result? Passion.
Pa- Easily passion. Passion is like the story of my life.
Is it the story of your life, like I don't have
Like
enough passion, or is it like this is who I am?
this is who I am. Like I do everything with passion. I'm very
So
all or
if
nothing, like 0 or 100.
so
So,
what if I challenge
oh,
you to choose not who you are, but the one that needs a little upgrade? What would that be? If you were like, I'm already like excelling at passion, I lived my passion all my life, and now if I lived into this quality, everything would move up even more. We lost connection.
how about I hear you.
Yes, we're
Okay,
back.
are we good now?
Yeah,
Okay, I think
upside
we're
down. You're dancing in that car. You're like this way and
yeah.
that way and sideways and upside down.
I'm trying to make sure that we're all my keeping everything charged and um okay. So if I had to change it because you're saying to challenge me.
Which one?
Um, then I would say trust.
Trust.
Trust is a hard one for me.
Okay. So if now your name is Trust, and how has your life changed? What's different?
Um, if if trust was my identity and I who I identify as, it would be trusting in myself,
Mm.
to really accomplish what I want. Having trust in the universe that it's going to give me back the things that I am thankful for and that I wish and I hope, and also trust for other people because it's hard
Mm.
to trust other people.
This is so powerful, right? How like boom, and you can see like that can change everything. Thank you so much for sharing that. And my question is to audience now. Imagine your name changed today and you have to choose a new name out of these four: success, trust, courage, or passion. Which of these names would you choose and what would change in your life as a result? Write your chosen word in the comments or send me a private message and receive a gift from me. And I want to thank Jordan for sharing with us today and for being here. And you've been great interviewer and interviewee, right? And and I know we had a little bit of connection with the Wi-Fi and stuff, but it was a great interview, and I really want to acknowledge and thank you for your authenticity and your passion and your trust and for your great energy and beautiful smile. It was such a joy to be interviewing here today. And where, tell me where people can find you. And I know that you also have a gift for them. So please share that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for having me, and you have great questions. Um, you can find me on Instagram at health underscore reconditioned or www.healthreconditioned.com. And the free gift for your special audience is that I will be providing not only a free call to explain my program, but a free in-depth health consultation that I usually charge $300 to $500. But we are going to do for all those listening who really feel like there's a health struggle that they're having and they don't have answers for it, and functional medicine will provide you with a cause of the underlying issues that you're having.
I'm taking that on. I'm taking you up on that. You guys have to take that up because truly, without your health and without your energy, you cannot do anything in your life and you cannot live your purpose. So, your purpose, your masterpiece depends on it. And so, give yourself this gift that Jordan is offering. And professionals, thank you so much for tuning in to our show, the Professionals on Air podcast, a podcast where we discuss how to walk, talk, live, and grow authentically as a professional in the 21st century. If you want to be a featured guest, please send me a direct message. And to learn more about Jordan, visit her website. We'll put the link in the comments below, as well as that gifts. And please visit her website and sign up for that offer that she is giving you. We appreciate your comments and feedback, and we can't wait to see you next Wednesday, where I will introduce you to Vikram Raichan. He is a co founder of blogging automation system that's called Video Socials, and he will be sharing with us how to build your brand and audience through video blogging. If you're interested in growing your business, of course, you don't want to miss this next week's episode. As always, send us your questions. Ciao, bye.